This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Casey Boland On Demand.
And Casey's with Hanghold Capital Management. And one thing you cover, Casey, is the necessity of having an emergency fund. But we have people, I think you said the average annual income is $55,000 per household. We have $16,000 in credit card debt. Wouldn't it make more sense to pay off credit card debt than it would if you had the extra money to build up your savings?
I think logically that's absolutely true. And yes, if you have credit card debt, the average household credit card debt was about $16,000, and the interest rate maybe around 15%. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, why would I accumulate money in a 0% bank account when I've got 15% sitting here where I can get a better return in paying off that debt? I think the reality is that logically there's a lot of truth to that. But, unfortunately, as humans, we aren't logical. And most people know that if you watch Star Trek, if everyone was like Spock, then yes, that argument would make sense. The thing you need to do is pay down your debt. Don't worry about accumulating that emergency reserve because you're going to get a better return.
It seems to me if you're losing 15% a month on your money, it makes sense to get rid of that before you accumulate your emergency fund.
Yes, and I think the math standpoint, that makes perfect sense. But from the standpoint of how we're wired, I think that if you build up that emergency reserve, you get a different feeling. You have that process of getting many little wins in the form of many months of monthly savings that are accumulating. You're seeing that bank account increase. Your confidence is improving. And then suddenly life happens, and there are times you're going to have to dip into savings. But when you dip into the savings, I don't think that's going to deter somebody from the behavior that you built of then saving money. But I think it's different, though. If you've got a credit card, even if you're making progress and paying it down, you're getting a better return on it. If something happens, you don't have that established saving in place. I think it's too easy to get back in the form of using a credit card debt and building that back up.
How about if we just agree to split it, half to the debt, half to the savings?
Hey, I like that plan because then you're making progress on both fronts. The key still is make savings a habit, and if you do that, I think that'll keep you on the path of not likely increasing as much or having as much credit card debt in the future.